Before we jump into today's show, I just wanted to let you know that I have got a brand new 3-part audio series available to download right now. If you head over to donnaeade.com/3-part audio, that's all one word, no spaces, you can download your How to Build Your Authority with Podcasting audio series. This is going to address guesting and hosting. So if you're interested in either of those and you want to know how to build your authority, head over to donnaeade.com/3-part audio. The link will be in the show notes. You're listening to the Mindset and Action Podcast, the place to be to grow and streamline your business. I'm your host, Donna Eade. Let's jump into the show. Review your goals twice a day, every day, in order to be focused on achieving them. Les Brown. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I have decided that is going to be the quote that I repeat on all of my quarterly reviews, so you'll know what's coming, although you'll probably tell from the title, in fairness. But welcome back to the podcast. It is that time again. It is quarterly review time. It is also a little bit of a celebration. So as you are listening to this, I am actually probably already in Paris. If not, I'm on the Eurostar going to Paris right now for my birthday, which was yesterday as you're listening to this, if you're listening on the Thursday. So it's quite an exciting week for me. I have never been to Paris before. I am looking forward to going up the Eiffel Tower and doing all of the touristy things and really getting to know a city that is, in fairness, not that far away. And this will only be my second time going to France and staying in France. So I've been through France a couple of times on other holidays or day trips, but I've never actually stayed in Paris, never been to Paris, and only stayed in Paris in my year 9. We went for the week, I think, in year 9. That's when I went to Paris for a week, but to France. But we stayed in Normandy, I think, somewhere around there. So very excited. Happy birthday to me. 43 years young and very, very excited to be going to Paris. So yeah, I should probably have mentioned this a few weeks ago on the podcast, and any of you guys who have been to Paris could have given me some tips, but never mind. We will go, we will live, we will learn. But this episode is all about looking back at our goals for the last quarter and seeing what we have done and then setting goals for the next quarter. So let's jump into a little review. So if you've got your notes with you, if you're doing this with me, then write down what your goals were, or find your where you write your goals down. What were your goals for the last quarter? So if you remember mine, which I'm sure you don't, because it's hard enough to remember our own, right? Hence the quote at the beginning of this episode. I had 5 goals for this last quarter, and I don't normally set 5. I try and stick with 3 because I think 3 is more appropriate. 1 a month, or 3 spread over the course of 3 months is much better for my head space to get around. So I thought I was a little bit ambitious, but I thought I'd be okay. Turns out not so much when I actually look at this. So it all went a little bit Pete-tong in the last 3 months, and that has been affected by my mental health, which is an episode that we've got coming up. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to kind of deep dive into what's been going on for me and just addressing some mental health topics, which I think is really important in business, to make it known that other people are going through things, and we may be in a really great space, but not everybody is. And sometimes we're not in a great space and we think we're all by ourselves. So I really want to kind of address that in a episode by itself. So make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast to hear that one coming soon. So my goals for the first quarter were, I was launching VIP strategy days last quarter. I was going to focus on Pinterest. I was going to network more. I was going to get my new website up, and I was going to get more speaking gigs. And really, I've kind of failed in almost all of those areas. And I'm not beating myself up about it because sometimes that's just how it goes. But my VIP strategy days, they are up on my website. So you can go to the Work With Me page on my website. They are there. You can message me. You can talk to me about them. I have got dates in the diary sort of set for them, sort of flexibility around dates for them, but I haven't really promoted it. And I think that's because the last promotion of my program, my Start Your Podcast program, my spring cohorts launch didn't go as well as I'd hoped. And that kind of had a knock-on effect. Whereas I should have then really promoted my VIP days and been out there promoting other things, it kind of put me in a bit of a hole, and I wasn't really prepared to be out there promoting. So that didn't really go to plan, although they are there. And if you are interested in the VIP strategy, it's a big word to get your tongue round. The VIP strategy days, they are to kind of plan out your podcast. So if you've been thinking of doing a podcast, but you just don't know where to start, you're not particularly a tech phobe, or maybe it's just you're not even at that point where you want to look at actually recording and editing. You want to kind of get it set out. You want a plan in place. You want to be able to visually see what a podcast looks like for you. That's what a strategy day is for. So we will look at how it's going to fit into your current workload, whether you do episodic episodes, whether you do seasonal episodes, what they look like. So the structure of the episodes, what are you going to have in them? Are you going to do guest interviews, things like that? And then we're going to plan out a year of ideas for you. So whether you're going to do 3 seasons a year, whether you're going to do a podcast a week for a year, we will plan out that first year of content, and then we will develop some of those ideas into full episodes that you could take away and record. We will also go through a launch strategy. So what does that look like for you? When would you be planning on potentially starting the podcast, and what would you need to do before it launches to ensure that it gets the best start it can? So that's what the VIP strategy days are. It's around 4 to 5 hours with me in person, unless you're too far away for us to get together, and then we can do it on Zoom. So that's the VIP strategy days. Didn't really promote them much last quarter, but we'll be doing that this quarter. The next one was the Pinterest, and I have been doing the Pinterest. I have been really enjoying sort of monitoring that. I have got an episode coming out in maybe 6 weeks' time where I'm going to actually give you a proper breakdown of what my Pinterest journey has been like so far, so you can have kind of the reality of it, because I think oftentimes we kind of hear everybody's superstar success stories when they're X number of years into something, and then we expect to be able to do that in a few months. And the fact is, when you're working with SEO and you're working with search engines and things like that, it's not an overnight thing. And I think a lot of people therefore give up too soon to really get the benefits of something. It's very much like podcasting. Podcasting isn't something that is necessarily going to be an instant success thing. It's something that grows with you over time. And if you give up too early, you miss out on the good stuff. And I think it's the same with Pinterest. So new episode coming out about that soon. So the next thing is networking, and I have joined a new networking group. So Vibrant Connections with Enves Maloney is a great new networking group that started in March or April this year. I've joined that. I'm really enjoying it. Slightly different to some of the other networking that I do, which I love, because I love to do networking that is all different, because then you get different connections, different types of people, and different levels of connection with those people that are in those groups. So it's always interesting to do something that's slightly different. Enves does have a waiting list for Vibrant Connections. So if you connect with her on any platform, you'll be able to get yourself on that wait list. She is sales training with Enves, and I'm going to check, actually. I'm going to stop because I know how to spell her name, but I know I'm going to get the F and the Y the wrong way around. So bear with me. ENFYS. So it's Welsh and I believe it means rainbow. So Enves Maloney, find her on LinkedIn is a good spot, or she has the Business Lounge on Facebook. So she is the host of that group, and she runs some in-person events as well. So really a great networking group to be part of. Other than that, I've actually not done as much as I wanted to when it comes to networking. So the small business vibes, I haven't actually been able to get to. I've just kind of missed putting it in my diary. That's what that one has been. I've missed putting it in my diary and therefore haven't been able to make it. And then there was a couple of dates that I couldn't do. I do remember that. So I haven't done as much as I want. So that is still on my list to get more networking done for the next quarter. So I'm going to carry that one over. But I am still running my online networking meeting with Business Women Unlimited. So that is once a month on the third Tuesday of the month. This month we had Diane Watson from She Can Prosper, author of the She Can Prosper book, come and talk to us. And in July, it's our last month before the summer break because we always have August off. And it's going to be a really good one. So we're going to be jumping into small groups, breakout rooms, one-to-ones, and doing some speed networking online. So there's going to be no teaching element as such, although I am going to talk a little bit about networking and using it well, but there's no big teaching element. We're going to be jumping pretty much straight into breakout rooms. So if you want to come and join us, you can book on the businesswomenunlimited.co.uk website and join us for that event. It's £10 plus VAT. There is no lockout, there is no membership fee, and you can come to as many or as few meetings as you like. So do come and join us. The Shining Star Awards have also just opened, and if you want to take part in those, you need to attend 3 meetings, I think, before the closing date. So if you can join us for July, that would be awesome. The new website, yes, I haven't even started that. Procrastination Station happening on that one. I really need to get it up and running though. We've had a few podcasts launched and I really want to get a central hub for them so that I can share them with people. It's going to be really exciting. So that is definitely on my list. And speaking gigs. So I did do a speaking gig last week, so that was good, but I haven't got anything else booked in. So if you know anybody who wants a speaker to come and talk about podcast guesting or podcast creation, I would love to be invited to speak in some more groups. So I will be doing that, looking for more speaking gigs in the next quarter. So didn't do great. Obviously the mental health has been a bit of an issue, so I'm not going to beat myself up too much about it, like I say, but I am ready to plan for the next quarter. Now the next quarter is really going to be a catch-up quarter. So for me, July, August is really a quiet time, because a lot of the people that I network with have children. So a lot of people in my realm have children. And what happens in the summer? They all go on holiday. So it gets a bit quieter. A lot of people that I work with and work around do quieten down over the summer holidays due to family commitments. So it does lighten my load a little bit when it comes to networking, when it comes to activities on social media and stuff. So I am going to have a bit more time to myself. So what's the plan? The plan is to plan out my next promotional period. So I am going to be opening up the Start Your Podcast program in October, the beginning of October. So September is going to be promotion month for the opening of that cohort. So if you want to be part of that, you can go on to my website. You can get in a couple of ways, but if you go and watch the masterclass, you'll be able to go and fill in the application form for the October cohort. So I'm going to be planning the launch for the September. So that's going to be a big thing. I want to get the website done. So the website is going to be one thing that I want to do in the next quarter, because I'm going to have basically all of August is going to be pretty quiet on the work front for me. So I am going to have that time to really dedicate to getting the website sorted. So websites and the promotion plan for the next cohort of Start Your Podcast will be done. And then I'm going to leave it. I'm actually only going to put those two down because I've got some things in the pipeline, and depending on whether they come to fruition or not depends on how much time I'm going to have to play with. So there's a few things that are coming up that I need to just reserve some time and space for. So I think actually we're going from overloading myself and not reaching any goals. I did do the Pinterest one. So I did do Pinterest, but the rest of it really didn't get focused on. This time I'm going to do 2, and hopefully that means that I will get a lot more done in my quarter. So we're going to set up the new website, and we are going to focus on the promotion for the Start Your Podcast program. So those are my 2. I am going to obviously continue to network at the level I am. I will try and get some more in if I can. I will be putting feelers out for speaking gigs, but they are likely to fall in the next quarter because, again, most people don't do much in the way of offering speaking opportunities in August, and then September's everybody's kind of getting back into their routine. So I don't suppose speaking gigs are going to come out into play until October, November time anyway. So that is it for my review of my goals. It's unfortunate that sometimes things don't go to plan, and mental health and other people do affect these things. You know, it's all well and good setting a goal, but when they are reliant on other people, it is somewhat out of your hands. There's only so much you can do. So like I say, I'm not going to beat myself up about it, and I don't want you guys to beat yourself up about it when you don't hit your goals. But one of the really important things is that beginning quote that I said, is that you need to check back on them. And the reality is, even after last quarter, when I said, I need to put my goals up next to my vision board, I didn't do it. And therefore, again, I get to the end of the quarter and I'm like, what were my goals? So I really need to put them up. I'm going to do it as soon as I finish this recording. They are going on a post-it note, and I am going to put it on my social media. So if you were on my social media when I recorded this, then you will have seen it. If not, then do feel free to tag me in your own goals that you post on social media, because, you know, if you say it out loud, then it's more likely to happen. So I would love to come and cheer you on with your goals. Other than that, I would love it if you would come and join me in my Facebook group. So I have a Facebook group called Start Your Podcast. It is there to help potential podcasters just understand a little bit more about podcasting. We share over there podcasts we're listening to and that we enjoy. I share some tips and tricks over there. It's a really fun place to be to discover more about podcasting. So if you are interested in that, then please head to the show notes. I have a link in there for the group. Don't forget, you can also send me a text by going to the show notes, and there is a button there that you can send me a text. So if you've got any questions or if you've got any feedback for me on the episode, then please do share that with me. I would be delighted to hear from you. Other than that, I think we are all good for this week. So a little bit of a shorter episode. These tend to be when I'm doing these goal reviews. I'm hopefully going to be having a lovely long weekend in Paris. So I shall probably feed back to you on that when I'm back on my socials. So make sure that you are connected to me in the group on Facebook. I will pop a picture or two in there, and I will speak to you soon. Bye for now. Don't forget to hit those stars and leave a review of the podcast where you listen if you found value in what you heard today. It's a free way you can help the podcast reach more people just like you.